Pagan all the time.
Which college? Learn anything, anytime, anywhere education. Whichcollege.co.
Aromagees Botanica, a metaphysical store for mind, body, and spirit. Oils, herbs, candles, crystals, teas, handmade soaps, tarot cards, everything you need on your magical journey. Daily psychic and tarot readings, classes, witchcraft, pagan, and hoodoo supplies, most of it made in-house. Try our free Dress Your Own candle station. From spiritual gifts to ritual supplies to religious books, we have the widest selection of metaphysical products in all of Tennessee since 1999. It is our goal to inspire everyone to explore their spirituality in their own way by offering information and products in a nurturing multicultural environment. Open 7 days a week. 223 Donaldson Pike, Nashville, Tennessee, or visit us online at aromagees.com.
Thank you for tuning in to Pagan World TV. Welcome to the Gayle Tracey Mull Show with Gayle Tracey Mull. Gayle is a catalyst for change. She can help you create the life that you dream of living. Gayle walks the path of the wounded healer. She is a psychic reader and life coach as well as a Reiki master in 2 traditions. She has a long and varied background in the mystical, the magical, and the metaphysical. Please welcome your host, Gayle Tracey Mull.
Hello, this is the Gayle Tracey Mull Show. I am Gayle Tracey Mull, and I am excited about tonight's show, you guys, because we have the Reverend Mary Hawk. I'm going to read her bio, excuse me. Don't want to mess this up. She has been practicing Wicca for over 20 years. She is a first-degree priestess of the Correllian tradition of Nativist Wicca. She's also active in the Sanctuary of Light prison ministry through the First UU Church of Nashville. I'm a UU person too. She has been one of the co-coordinators of Nashville Pagan Pride Day since 2012, and she is one of the founding members of Moon Willow Coven. Mary is a numerologist and a tarot reader. I so wish you could be here for our psychic fair, but you're all the way in Nashville. And she is the general manager of Pagan World TV and Pagan World Co. And I am so excited to talk about, well, all of that, but that last thing in particular, Pagan World TV, really cool.
Well, Gayle, thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yes. You have done some really exciting things in your life. I mean, I love that whole bio and the things there. And on top of that, you have a normal life.
Yes.
You do your regular 9 to 5 job and all the things that everybody does. And I don't think that people realize that pagans often are quite active in their community. Do they?
I'm not sure, but I think you're right.
Yeah, they don't realize that we're people that are doctors and nurses and prison guards and, just regular people.
Right.
Right.
We all got to keep the bills paid somehow.
We do. And there's this impression that we're all, these young kids and we dance naked under the moon and, that it's just a kid thing, that you outgrow this. I think me and you both are living proof that that's not the case.
No, I have not outgrown it. I've just grown deeper and deeper into it.
Absolutely. I talk with people, and whenever you take off down this path, it's an ever-growing, ever-changing way to live. Is that how you see it?
It is. You start out, at least when I came into the craft in the late 90s, you started out by reading some books. Now you start out online, but
reading books online, you start exploring.
And you do a spell and a ritual, and then 20 years later, pretty much everything you do not connected with the job or the family is pagan.
That is honestly very true, because my personal circle of people, if they're not pagan, they're what you call pagan adjacent.
Right.
Yeah. That they're people that, they're a little bit different. Let's put it that way. But why don't you tell us about the new endeavor of Pagan World TV and paganworld.co, because I understand those are two different things.
Well, they're two pieces to the same project. So
Okay.
paganworld.co or paganworld.ning.com is a social broadcasting website. And our mission is to provide anywhere, anytime, any place, knowledge and information and news for our members in the global society about the pagan world. So the website, when we say it's a social broadcasting site, what that means is when you become a member, you can use it easily to share content among platforms. You can post it on Pagan World and then from there share to Facebook, Twitter, Messenger, email, lots of different ways to share your information easily. And
that sounds wonderful to me, because all of the technology stuff, it gets to me. I hope it really is as easy as you say.
It's easy, I promise. You make a post and you choose if and where you wish to share your post.
So you just have to set up all the links within the platform. You sort of have to do your groundwork.
Well, any post gives you those options. You will have to go in and log into your different accounts through our interface. But once
Right.
that's done, it's done.
Cool. So, how would your average person, somebody that, they just started to study and, they're exploring this world for sort of the first time, how would they use paganworld.co?
Well, we've got several tools that they would find interesting. We have a tool where people can post events both online and in person, so you can look for events that interest you. We have blogs and articles by different members where you can read for information. We have been posting a lot of informational videos. My dear friend, Reverend Ravenwolf Greenwolf, has been posting readings from her new book, Medium 365, which takes you through a day in the life of a medium for a year to help you open to being a medium.
Oh, that's interesting.
We have put live rituals on Pagan World. And we have some music creators who post their videos.
I want to say something about actually posting live ritual. For a long time, nobody allowed you to film or video ritual. And, I know so many people that, like you said, they read the book. They've talked to people, but they haven't actually physically attended a ritual. And, a lot of times that's a hard thing for somebody who's getting started to know anybody to do that with. And they don't feel confident in and of themselves. They've read the recipe, so to speak, but until you've eaten a piece of the cake, you don't know what it's supposed to taste like.
Exactly.
So being able to go to some place that you can actually see, even if it is recorded, a ritual, and to say, okay, these are real people, and that's what it means whenever it says to bless this or do that. It gives them the actual concrete of having seen that. And I think that would be of real value to a lot of people that I've met.
Right. And the idea of the virtual circle rituals was born in part because of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a way to offer ritual to people who literally can't go do ritual, even if you have a group you routinely do ritual with. There for about 2.5 years, we weren't.
Yeah. So I didn't realize. So the rituals are actual virtual. You can virtually plug in and participate in that ritual.
What we're doing now is we have a group that is doing the major Sabbaths, and we broadcast it over Zoom. So only the participants are in the Zoom room, but it goes out on Pagan World and some Facebook pages, so anyone can view it.
After it's done.
Yes. Well, we broadcast live. So.
Oh, okay.
It's recorded, so it can be replayed later. But yes, we're broadcasting live in front of the whole world.
Wow.
And you have no idea how bad your nose can itch until you're doing a live ritual. I will just say that.
Well,
in front of the whole internet.
Oh, I could just imagine that. It's bad enough whenever you've got a big group, which I have done before, and it's people who don't know you.
Mm-hmm.
And, things are scripted to a certain extent, but things happen, people.
They do.
And like you said, somebody's nose itches, or somebody plubs something, or they trip over their cat, or things happen.
Yes.
And I
The
can
lighter
imagine
will
knowing
not
about all those
light.
people out there watching me. And they're thinking, oh my God, do these people even know what they're doing? Yes, yes, we do, but we're real. We're actually real people. Well, goes back to what we were talking about in the beginning.
Yes.
Real people that practice and do these things.
Yes.
Yes. But I think that would be a very valuable thing to, well, I was going to say the younger generation, but I also think that there's older people that they've always longed to do this and never had the nerve, and maybe they're just now getting to it.
Right.
Do you see a lot of those people? What do you see on paganworld.co? Is it the
I
full gamut
see
of,
all ages. And and I'm going strictly on people's pictures, other than you have to be 17 to participate. But
mm-hmm.
I have seen all ages. I have seen people from all pagan paths.
Mm-hmm. And people don't realize there's a lot of different paths out there. And I know you're Corellian tradition, correct?
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that all of the people on paganworld.co are.
No. This is designed for the whole pagan community.
Mm-hmm. So whenever people watch your rituals, obviously they're going to be geared toward the tradition that you are in and part of.
Right.
But it gives them a jumping off point.
It does.
It gives you a place to start. And hopefully as it grows, maybe there will be some other traditions and people can sort of see different things. Is that the goal?
That is the goal. We want
That
to
is
include everyone in our community.
So and that community is big, people. How many?
Go ahead.
How many people do you estimate? Because we're dealing with world statistics with you. How many people identify as pagan?
I am not sure about around the world, but I know that Oberon Zell estimates there are 2 to 3 million pagans in the U.S.
And as of the last census, isn't that number steadily growing?
It is.
Yes. There are more people that identify as other or spirituality.
Yes.
Yes.
And I that 2 to 3 million may be underrepresented.
I honestly think that it might be too. And it's really hard to gauge that, I think.
It is. There are some traditions that maintain statistics and can tell you how many active members they have. But many people who are pagan belong to very small groups, or they're solitaires, and they don't belong to a group at all.
Well, and there's still a lot of people out there that pagan is sort of a bad word. So they don't want to admit, even to themselves, to using that word.
So
and then
they are spiritual, they're magical.
Yes. Like you said, they're pagan adjacent. They don't want to use the P word. We had recently done a show about attempting to define paganism. So I'm going to ask you, how do you define somebody as pagan? What would you say is a good definition of pagan?
I say that pagan is an umbrella term for people who follow a type of spirituality that is in general nature-based. It is usually focused on pre-Christian deities. It is generally focused on seasonal celebrations rather than the yearly sabbats, full moons, new moons, something along that nature. There is usually a strong emphasis on experiences, as in what you learn in meditation and ritual, and your experience. We work through experience rather than through a book.
I think that is a very good definition of paganism. I do think that people prefer experience to books, but I come from the generation whenever you didn't have anybody to teach you, all you had was the book.
And what I mean is we do not have a one holy book.
No.
There are, thousands of great books on paganism out there that you can definitely learn from. But what the good books teach you is how to create a ritual where you have communion with the divine, how to create your daily meditation practice where you have communion with the divine.
How you do the self-work to grow.
Right.
And learn. Because truly, this is a path about growing and learning and developing your spirituality and developing your faith.
Yes.
Based on what resonates with you.
Yes.
Do you
agree? I absolutely agree.
And, I think, I don't know about you, but I think during COVID and the pandemic and everybody being sequestered as we were.
Yes.
That people really looked at their spirituality and evaluating their spirituality. And
I agree.
You think so?
I do.
Yeah. I think people had a time to slow down and actually think about what works for them and what doesn't. I also think that, a lot of people lost somebody during the pandemic.
Yes.
And they may not have just lost one person. They could have lost several people.
Right. And that makes you reevaluate things.
It does. It is what, in certain circles, is known as a spiritual crisis.
Right.
Because whenever you lose somebody and they're close to your heart, and you don't lose just the one person, but you lose another person, and then you lose your next door neighbor, all of a sudden you have to stop and say, whoa, what do I believe in? What kind of afterlife do I believe in? And I think a lot of people did that during the pandemic.
And I believe you're right.
Yeah. Did you see more of an increase? Because you've had paganworld.co for a while, correct?
It has been up in its current form since November.
Since November. But it sort of grew out of the pandemic and people needing.
And it also grew in part because we lost Witchfox.
Now, Witchfox, explain to people who don't know the history of it what Witchfox was.
Witchfox was the first pagan site that was designed to be a community site. And it had a wealth of information on it, lots of articles. It was a good place to find connections locally or on a wider level. And it was a good place to network. And it finally, technology got ahead of it, is the best way to describe what happened, I believe. And it's been shut down now, but it was a great resource and one that I used quite a bit several years ago.
So whenever it went away, all of a sudden, you and the people that you work with, because I realize you're just part.
I am just part of the team.
Part of the team. We're actually going to meet Ed Hubbard next week, who's also part of your team. So we will look at this from his perspective, and I think that will be interesting as well. And he has a lot to say about the social media platforms and what that's going to do for people in the future. I know he's a really strong.
World is his brainchild.
Yes. So I'm excited to see things from his perspective as well. And he has led quite a wide and varied life. But I do see the technology is growing, and there was a need. And that's the reason that all of this came about.
It is.
It's so you are currently a nonprofit, correct?
Yes. Excuse me.
It's live TV, people. Real things happen. Real things happen. So, do people pay to go on paganworld.co?
Okay. Your basic membership is free. You can upgrade to a citizen membership, which gives you access to more features. And right now we're offering a lifetime citizen special for $25. So it's a really good time to upgrade because that's a lifetime membership. We're raising money that way. We are also offering vendors for $100 a year. And that gives you more access and includes one commercial on Pagan World TV every 24 hours. And sponsorships, which are $250 for a year, and that will get you more access and 3 commercials on Pagan World TV a day.
Okay, for people out there who know nothing about advertising, that is an insanely good deal. Okay.
It is an insanely good deal. We're doing it to raise the money we need to get going.
So what kind of things do you need to get going and to expand?
Well, right now we are working on building our programming for Pagan World TV, and we are on Roku. If you have a Roku, go search for channels and just type in Pagan World and we will come up. We are in our early phase. We are right now running a lot of content that Ed has recorded over the years, and we are working on developing new shows with new content, and we intend to have that coming on board in September. We do have some shows that will be happening. One of them is called Chasing the Endless Summer, and that is starring my friend Neil Goodman. He has been vending at pagan events for years and years. And we're following him on his rounds this summer.
Oh, fabulous. Fabulous. And we had just really got into discussing what she needs for Pagan World TV. And I gather that you need bodies, you need people, you need shows.
Yes, we do need people to create shows. If you are interested in creating a pagan-themed TV show, please email us at paganworldtv@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you.
Absolutely. And, you know, me and you have talked about it. I honestly think, little spoiler alert, I think Mariah, one of my regular contributors, and I are going to develop a show for Pagan World.
And we are looking forward to it.
Yes, yes. I am looking forward to it. But, you know, for people out there who have followed this path a long time, like you and I have, it's time to step up, people. If you've wanted to do something like this, message Mary. Give it a try.
Send us an email. We would love to talk to you.
Yes.
Because we are looking to, by September, we are on the air with pre-recorded content, things that Ed Hubbard has been recording for years, and some new content we've done this summer. But by September, we want to have lots of new shows on. And I will tell you,
yeah, September is not far away, people. I mean, if you're going to do this, type
send
in
an email.
Yeah, exactly.
Now another show we've got is called The Lottery Experiment. In this show, we're focusing on the possibility of manipulating reality with shared thoughts. So we're focused on a lottery ticket, which has chosen numbers on it. And the idea is, can we get enough people focusing their energy on these numbers that they begin to hit with Powerball
and numbers? I'll help focus. I'll start playing numbers. I'll go for that.
Ed will be hosting this show. Another one that I'm really excited about is called the Musai Monologues, and we are looking for pagans to read and discuss their poetry on this show. And that's going to be hosted by Cloud the Rapper and Sir Ellen.
Cool. And so, if somebody that doesn't quite have the nerve to do a whole show and to come up with content week after week, might still be able to do that.
Or if you do something interesting and you're willing to be interviewed, send us an email. Because we'll be looking to be interviewing authors and discussing books. We're going to have a short form video called Ask a Witch or Ask a Pagan, Ask a Heathen, Ask a Druid, where we get an expert on to answer questions. We are running the witch school lessons.
That is a big deal. One of the things that people may not know, the Corellian tradition actually started witch school, or
yes,
what? How long ago was it now, Mary?
20 years ago.
And there is people literally from all over the world
who have gone through witch school. Yes.
How many people have you had go through witch school?
Thousands. For the Ask Ed, because I'm not directly involved. I'm a student at witch school, but I'm not.
Okay.
But I am not directly involved in running witch school.
But that goes back to the fact that there is a lot of people out there who want this information.
There are lots of people out there. Like I said, millions who are interested and want to know more about the various forms of paganism, how to work a spell, how to make a ritual.
Mm-hmm.
What do druids do? What do heathens do?
So even if you don't want to do, like I said, a full standalone show, you might be somebody that they could call on as an expert for something.
So, yes, if you're interested at all, send us an email.
Mm-hmm. What I'm trying to get through to people out there is you don't, all things are needed.
Yes.
All kinds of people.
And if you are creating music, pagan music videos, shoot us an email. I'm happy to announce we'll be running Tuatha Dea's videos shortly. I just spoke
about this.
with
I'm interested in that. Yes. That is going to be such a big deal. I hope some of my people are watching tonight because they are so into music.
And we are looking for other pagan artists who would be willing to let us broadcast their videos.
I think for me, it is a no-brainer that people would want to buy some of those advertising spots.
Well, I certainly hope so.
There are so many in our community that they're just little mom and pop shops. They can't afford a lot. But a lot of the little mom and pops do have a website anymore that they sell things on, or a Facebook page that they sell things on, because they've had to. They've had to expand their business. They can't depend solely on the local community. So being able to have your name on something like Pagan World TV and to have your website there, because there's people searching for that information.
Right. There are. And we do have a directory for our sponsors and vendors on the site with information. Bare minimum, their website and Facebook page, and a brief description of what they sell.
I think that is amazing. If nothing else, it's a site where you can find reputable vendors.
Yes.
Of the different things you want. And it's another way of supporting this project. Because if they know you found them off of Pagan World, I mean, that helps the cycle.
It does.
It does. So what else have you got coming up? What other kinds of shows?
Let's see. My show is going to be called Witch Rising. And this is a panel discussion. We're going to be discussing things such as bodily autonomy and reproductive rights, personal identity, issues that are current and in the news.
I don't know about you, but I'm tired of so much extremist reactionary things that people haven't actually investigated. And there needs to be a place for honest and respectful conversation. And it's not just this extreme, wide different viewpoints, but somebody that's actually trying to bring people together in a meeting in the middle. At least I hope that's what you're going to do. That's what I would like to see, is for people to start finding some common ground.
Well, common ground is good, although I believe that a lot of the issues I'm going to wind up addressing have to do with people's basic human dignity.
That is true. And, you know, teacher of mine used to say, my rights, your rights end where mine begin.
Exactly.
You know, we should all have a right to our body.
Yes, we have the right to express ourselves.
Yes.
In the way we feel comfortable. And we have a right to exist without someone being offended that we exist.
And we all have a right to be different.
Yes.
We have the right to practice whatever belief system or way that we see fit, as long as you're not harming another person.
Exactly.
In doing that. And, you know, there's been a lot of, I think that there's more and more pagans that are out there in front of people right now than they have ever been before. I honestly do. In this country.
I agree. And there are way more pagans who have chosen to be publicly pagan.
I absolutely agree. And I do think that there is a certain backlash right now, just because I think the world is so volatile right now, and people are so on edge. And I think, I don't know about you, but my message is, we don't want to take anything from anybody else.
No, we just want to exist and follow our spiritual paths.
And do it in peace without persecution.
Yes.
And what people do not seem to understand is their persecution of people who are pagan, that actually goes back to them, because if you're willing to persecute one person,
you're willing to persecute anybody.
Absolutely. You know, you're only as good as the least person among you. What you will do to the least person can be done to the highest.
Right.
I have found that quite often. And people, it's time for people to learn to live and let live.
Yes.
Yes. I personally want to see people starting to talk about the middle ground. How can people get along instead of just hating on each other all the time? Because what does hate get you?
Nothing.
Yeah, it gets you more hate.
Yes.
It doesn't move anything forward. It doesn't do anything productive. You know, open, honest, respectful discussion. That gets you places.
That gets you places, absolutely.
Yeah. So if you would like me to participate in one of your panels, I am the middle of the road person.
All right.
I try and be the middle of the road person. You know, use some common sense. That's what I tell my grandson all the time. Okay? You can hear me telling him.
I can, but common sense is not very common.
It isn't. It isn't. There are so many people that are really intelligent, but they don't necessarily have, like, I don't know how else to phrase it. Common sense, the ability to be analytical about a situation. I don't think people have valued that enough in the past. I value it mightily, personally, but
yes.
Yeah. So what else have you got? What other kind of programming have you got?
I am talking to some other people. We don't have names yet. We're fleshing out their shows. At least one is going to be teaching basic Wicca. Another one is going to be doing a guided meditation and probably doing a tarot card pull and taking questions from viewers. We're going to have to get people to participate by emailing or Facebooking questions, but that's going to be interesting. We're looking at producing a pagan shopping show that features products put on by our vendors and sponsors.
You know, I really hope that with the pagan shopping in particular,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, but it seems like every vendor has the same thing, you know, and
It,
I want to visualize things.
it depends. I especially enjoy dealing with vendors who make their own products, whatever they may be.
And, you know, that's something about people like you and I. We care about how it feels and the energy that's in it. And, you know, and
Right.
it's so hard to order offline if you don't know anything about the person who created it.
And there is that, but it can also be fun, and we'll give you a chance to meet our vendors and sponsors and talk a little bit about their products.
That's what I mean. The idea that, you know, I can see www.pagan.com or whatever, and that I see the people behind it and, you know, what they put into building their business. And I can go, oh, I really identify with those people.
Right.
You know, I would be I would be happy to support them as they grow and they do things, or that I feel like I can message them and ask them, do you have this or can you make this? Um, I think that that will be an exciting.
Yes, we're looking forward to that. And we'll be doing interviews with pagan musicians as well.
Hadn't you and I talked about maybe doing, maybe y'all will eventually do one interviews with pagan authors, maybe?
Oh, yeah,
Maybe.
we had mentioned that earlier, but yes, shows focused on pagan. We will have at least a show focused on pagan authors.
Yay. Um, because right now, I mean, let's talk about the fact that nobody else is doing this. Nobody else out there in North America, let alone the world, is doing TV geared to pagan spiritual people.
There is not another channel like this that I am aware of.
Yes. People, that is huge. It is so huge. Just the
really
idea
is.
of saying that. I mean, I want people out there to understand 20 years ago, whenever you started, 20 years ago, whenever I started, would you have ever thought that you would have been sitting here talking about Pagan World TV?
No, I wouldn't have. I really wouldn't have. Because what I was reading 20 years ago was talking about how necessary it is to keep your path hidden.
Yes. Yeah. And to be silent and to not say anything. And, you know, it is amazing how far we have come.
It really, really is.
And I encourage people out there, and I know that it's still hard. I live in the Bible Belt, okay?
I do
I know,
too, but I
yeah,
always fiddle around with my pinnacle on.
yes. And I realize that it's hard for people, but this is your opportunity. It is the opportunity to shine. And I think one of the things that we've all learned from the pandemic is, you know what? You got this life. Stand up and shine.
Yes, life is too short to hide who you are.
Absolutely. And Mary Hawk and I are poster children for that particular remark. Stand up and shine, and please contact Mary Hawk. Okay?
Yes.
She is very likable. She goes ahead and she will answer you. They need help, they need people. If you've got a shop, if you're a vendor, um, if you've even got a remote inkling for an idea of a show, she's going to be open.
Yeah. Please contact us. We would love to hear from you. And that is paganworldtv@gmail.com. And you can find us at paganworld.ning.com.
Or at the very least, go and join paganworld.co.
Yes.
As always, you can find me. My link is in the comments. I'm sure my engineer has got that. It's my link tree. I do a large variety of things, and we are out of time. So thank you for watching. I'm Gayle Tracey Mull. This is the Gayle Tracey Mull Show, and goodbye and blessed be.
Thank you for watching the Gayle Tracey Mull Show with Gayle Tracey Mull. If you enjoyed the show, please leave a like and comment and subscribe. Tune in next time on Pagan World TV.